always told me not to drink anything that's purple.
Well, your mom's not here, so you can do anything you want.
All right, Mom. Okay.
Actually, she is. Here she is, Mrs. Laura Bush.
Can barely walk.
Right in the middle.
I'm supposed to sit in the middle.
Oh, the middle.
Yeah.
Yes.
Excuse me?
Oh. Now we all have to behave.
I know.
Because
Everyone needs to be on their best behavior.
Not because you were a former first lady, but because you are one of the greatest ladies
thank you
ever.
so much.
I mean, emphasis on ladies.
She's also a lady, which is something that Kathie Lee and I don't know that much about.
Not in a long time, but you are wearing my shoes.
Yes, these are Kathie Lee's heels. I gave up heels a long time ago, but since it was only this short of a walk, I thought I could make it.
What a woman.
She came to work and she said, will you take off your shoes to put on flats? And I said, no, Mom, no.
She was too tall.
I said, no, I won't. And then Kathie Lee heard and said, well, I'm a 7. Do you want to borrow my shoes? And so she's now
So I
wearing
did.
Kathie Lee's shoes.
Yes. And they're made by Jill Martin. So everybody wins. Everybody wins. All right. So what are you in town for, may we ask?
Well, so I'm in town for Valentine's Day with 2 grandchildren, Mila and Poppy Louise, so that'll be really fun.
But what about your real Valentine?
Well, my real Valentine, I left him a Valentine at home.
I bet you did. You didn't leave him anything, did you?
No, I didn't. No, I left him a real Valentine that had an owls on the front of it, and it said, "I'll always love you."
That is so cheesy.
Needless to say, he did not leave me a Valentine.
Well, maybe, you never know. Maybe he's sending you flowers.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Is he a romantic?
Not really.
You did say, well, my parents met and then they were married 3 months later.
That's right.
Which led us to believe that there was some sort of reason to get married 3 months later. But we don't
Said they were born 4 years later. So
That's true. But you did say he spoke in poetry or rhyme for the first year of marriage.
I think he
Was
was
it
just so
iambic
nervous.
pentameter? Like in Shakespeare?
It was just,
He just
he was just so nervous that he
spoke in rhyme all the time.
Well, you were a very smart librarian type person. He was probably trying to impress you.
Yes, he's like, look, I know poetry. Roses are red, violets are blue, and I like you.
That was one of his.
What would you say? Without getting too personal, what is he best at?
Oh, gosh, Kathie, this is what I was afraid of.
Golf.
No, he paints, he
a
bikes,
painter.
he does all kinds
He's
of
a great athlete. He really is.
But the other thing that people get surprised by, I'm not sure why, is that he's a really good listener.
Yeah.
Like Barbara wrote about the time that she got her heart broken, older, like a couple years ago, and she felt like she was going to marry him, and that feels sad, and that he would just call every day and listen. He couldn't tell her it was going to be better because who knew if it was?
And it wasn't.
One of the things that Barbara and George do that I think is really sweet is they read the same devotion every day.
It's a Sarah Young's Jesus Calling.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I've
right.
got millions of people reading that now.
Since
Kathie
they're
gave it to
reading
me.
the same
Yeah.
one every day, then they just text each other afterwards about what the
But- and you
devotion
know,
was that day.
It made me feel a little left out, let's be honest. They do a text every day that I've never been on. And so I publicly shamed him, and I was like, Dad, I've never gotten one text. Can you please put me in? And now he has.
As he has. Okay.
All right, so
well,
should we
since
play
you
a game?
are
Sure.
2 members of our former first family, we're going to play a game called Family Firsts.
Okay.
We're going to ask Mrs. Bush about some of her memorable firsts.
Uh-oh.
You ready?
Sure.
Are you scared?
She's not nervous. She
scared.
should be. All right, first date with George.
First date, we played miniature golf. We met the night before at a friend's barbecue. And then the next day, our first date, and went out to the Midland, Texas miniature golf course.
So was it love at
cute.
first sight? Was it?
I kind of think it was love at first
Yeah.
sight.
I've seen pictures of you guys. Pretty
And they
darn
were-
adorable.
Oh, look, there's your wedding. Y'all were cute.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so that
that's
was
our
3
wedding.
months after the first date, which is fast.
Yeah. Fast.
They
but
didn't
we
have
were
color
older.
back then?
We were older. Yeah, no.
No, everything was in black and white.
First reaction when you found out you were going to have twins?
Thrilled. I was so thrilled to have twins. I'd sort of pictured 2 babies and thought, well, that's so greedy to want 2 at once. But I was an only child, and I really wanted to have more than 1 child so that they'd have each other. And of course, that's what really happened.
And they're like best friends. Your eyes are already tearing.
I know.
I'm sorry,
This is
Nikki.
fake.
Somebody said, I think it was Nikki who said if we called for Kleenex.
Oh, Kleenex.
Oh, boy. They did that just for us for 2 weeks. Wow, I'm impressed.
You'll have one while you're at it.
This jumpsuit is too tight. I can't go
but you look
any further than that.
You look great.
First time Jenna got grounded among the many times.
No, I was very
One of the things Jenna did, when
there was
Jenna
the
and
prison
Barbara were born, their
Tell her I didn't go to prison.
No, she didn't go to prison.
She could have a few times that you don't know about, but anyway.
When Barbara and Jenna were born, their grandfather was already vice president. And one of the things they did as soon as they learned how to dial the phone was call the White House switchboard and prank call the White House. They got in trouble for that.
We kept prank calling over and over again, and then
And they couldn't figure out where it was coming from?
Well, no, they did, and my mom came into our room, and we were getting in trouble, and we were afraid we were going to get spanked because this was the 80s. People spanked back. I mean, right?
People don't spank.
I don't spank my children, but anyway, I was spanked, and I'm severely damaged because of it. But we put hardcover books in our pants.
Oh my gosh.
Because we knew we were going to get in trouble, and we were like, okay, we got to protect our booties.
My mother would come at me with the
fly swatter?
The fly swatter. She'd talk all about how important cleanliness was, and then she'd pick up the filthiest thing in the house and go after us. Did you ever feel like this? When my sister and I were really, really messy, my mother would come in. It was such disgust, and she'd take out the drawers that were actually good, and she'd lift them up with this face, and she'd dump it all, just pick it up.
No, I mean, it sounds like you're
She was the most joyful person you've ever met.
Sounds like you're slightly permanently damaged too.
That woman loved Jesus. I am telling you, she did. She did. She just was a joyful, but you get to the end of yourself, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, now, first time you spoiled your grandkids.
Every time I could. Jenna
Behind Jenna's
says,
back.
oh, in Maine, when Mila was 3 months old,
3
and I gave her
months.
ice cream.
She hadn't even had food, and she's like, Mila would like some ice cream. I'm like, Mom, she's just having breast milk now. No, breast milk this is fine. She'll have some ice cream. And she was feeding her ice cream.
And she was loving it,
and
I'm
then she
sure.
wasn't changing the diaper.
What about the first time you loaned Jenna one of your bras?
Sorry, Mom. I don't know. Do y'all not have that relationship with your mothers?
People don't wear the same bra size as their mother.
Well, you're right.
Sadly, for Jenna, she inherited the...
I mean, sadly or happily, whichever way you want to look at it. Remember how you taught me to love my body, Mom? Remember? She would do things like, she's like, do you need a new bra? And I'm like, well, I actually do. I mean, I need a tan bra. This is black and I don't have one. Here's one of my minimizers. And I'm like, do I need a minimizer? But I mean, you don't share bras with your
My mother was like a triple G, as in gee whiz. I mean, whoa. And they got bigger all the time. I remember sitting in the bathtub when she was little, when we were little, and then we'd sing with her, and they were just like nice perkies, you know. And as the older she got, they were like,
but that's what happens. That is what happens. That's called aging.
all right.
Okay.
Oh, gosh.
In case Dad forgets to get you flowers for Valentine's Day, which we think we have you covered. This is called the most extra bouquet, which, do you know what extra means? No? It's the most extra bouquet from Flower Star. Wow-wee!
Wow. It costs $500, made up of over 100 flowers, and it makes quite the impression.
That makes quite the impression.
Wow.
Extra is a millennial word, Mom, that you probably don't. I don't even know it. Do you know what I mean?
Like supersized or something.
No, extra means like special, right?
Well, that's what extra would mean.
Extra. Too much.
Oh, like too much.
Oh, too much.
Like a little bit like.
Over the top.
Extra.
There's
Okay.
always one in a crowd of 200 that knows that. There's always one person, and you're seated right in the front.
We like it.
All righty.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.